Hi everyone, thanks for watching this video first off. And second, I caught a cold, so please excuse my voice. I've been trying to rest, but it's also hard for me to really make myself rest. I did cancel lessons only because I would have to drive to those, and I've been so tired that I was afraid of driving. I might actually fall asleep at the wheel. So I did cancel my lessons and stayed home, but I've been trying to work with this horse. He arrived like 4 days ago. Excuse me. He came in for ground manner issues and feeding issues, and eventually there's some things that we need to work on when it comes to riding, but I really have to get all of his ground manners under control so he's safe around his owner and they can start building a connection again. His name is Slick. He's 10-year-old appendix, I believe. He's had some pretty bad injuries. A couple years ago, I think it was, he went through some fencing and he just tore himself up, so he's got a lot of scar tissue on his legs. Then in November, he fell into a creek and they had to lift him out of it. And so ever since then, him and his owner have been feeling a disconnect between them, and he's been lashing out at times. So she found me and asked me if I could help and see what I could do. So I immediately said yes, because I feel like this is probably my main thing that I love working with, is like those horses that everybody else starts to give up on, and those that really aren't trusting humans anymore. I really do love trying to work with them and help them. As much as I love starting colts and showing, I do love the horses that are just being misunderstood and working with them. So like I said, I basically started working with him the first day that he came because he has some feeding trouble. So I really wanted to work on boundaries. And he's been doing good with that, but he didn't really show me much in the first couple of days. Then excuse me. Then as our girls started to go out of their stalls, he started showing me some tantrums because he wasn't very happy that I wasn't letting him go. So I've had a couple of moments where he did try to kick out at me for not letting him out. Those were some pretty big tantrums. So today, even though I canceled my day, I knew I needed to work with him. And so I'm super exhausted, but I came out and spent about 40 minutes working with this guy. I did start doing some of this groundwork, not yesterday, because yesterday was Easter, so I actually believe in not working to celebrate Jesus' resurrection. But the day before, I started to work on some of this groundwork. However, I was not using the flag. I was using my regular stick and string, and he was very dull to it. He did not want to move at all. So I thought today I would actually bring out the flag and see what kind of responses I would get from him. He wasn't actually too bad with the flag. There was one moment where I think he thought I was going to attack him with it when I first started to move it, and then he realized that I wasn't trying to hurt him with it. What I'm doing here is yielding his hind end and yielding his shoulders. I am yielding his shoulders right now, and he won't stop moving away from me. I just want him to yield and then stand. And so I keep yielding his shoulders and then yielding his haunches to show him to stand. And it takes a few tries, but he finally catches on. However, we had a couple of tantrum moments where he acted like he wanted to strike out at me. And we finally got the stop, and I praised him really good for it. So it took us a little bit, and we got our standstill. I already got it from the other direction, but this was the final one that he wasn't catching onto, and he wanted to strike out at me more. Next, I am walking and asking him to pay attention to any speed that I choose. So I'll start walking slowly and then I'll pick up speed and I'll get pressure with the lead rope and halter. And he won't come with me, so I'll shake the flag at him. And of course, he throws a little fit about that, which is understandable. I know he was going to do that. The biggest thing, I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't actually going to try to hurt me when I was asking him to speed up. He did try several times to get ahead of me. A couple of times when he did get ahead of me, I waited until he actually relaxed, and then I would stop and ask him to back up, because I want him to understand that I did want that response of going faster with me. And it's okay that he was trotting. I wasn't worried about that. I was just worried about his response, or focusing more on his response. And so having him get a little ahead of me, it was okay for a second. And then as long as he started to relax and not be in a upset flight mode, I then would stop and ask him to back up. He would have to listen to me though, and he would throw a little tantrum when he didn't want to back up. So now I switch sides, because everything you do on one side you want to do on the other. This side, of course, was harder because it was his offside. And so I understand that his response was going to be a little bit rougher to me. And so he kept getting upset with me. And if he got really upset, then I would ask him to get back alongside me, not directly behind me and not trying to change sides, but at least get back and not try to circle me. This one took a lot longer for him to understand that I didn't want him taking off with pinned ears and trying to get away from me. That's not what I was looking for. I was actually wanting a response of try to stay up with me, be nice, and then I would release him when he was nice and relaxed. If I released him when he was mad, then he would understand that was the correct answer, but I wanted him to have nice, relaxed eyes, relaxed ears, and a relaxed head and body. He started to catch on a little bit more. He wasn't throwing as much of a fit about it, but I still wasn't getting the response of when I would take off faster, that the pressure on the halter and lead rope would still be there, and I would have to wiggle the flag a little bit. And the idea, I was trying to get him to actually follow what my body was doing, not have to resort to the flag. So the flag was the last reinforcement to it. And I got like 2 times of it, and he actually did it a lot more relaxed. It will come about shortly, but he's still throwing fits, and he again does not understand space. So when I do start to ask him to back up, he tries to get around behind me and like shove his head into my back or try to switch sides. So the biggest thing was I was showing him that he needs to get off of my space, and not just because he's big, he just cannot push me around. Now he was actually responding to when I'd ask him to back up, to back with me and not try to turn away from me. He does get sticky once in a while to where I start to walk off. He wants to stand in place because he just wants to be done. But that's not how it works. If we can do things in a nice manner and very softly, then we can be done with it. I do also want to point out the video is sped up, so you can't actually see when I give him his rewards, his little breaks. And he does lick and chew, but you can't see it because I don't have the video zoomed in. What I'm doing in this exercise is I'm trying to teach him that I am the leader and I'm the lead mare. And if you watch a mare in the herd, if she wants to walk in a certain line or go to a certain spot, all the other horses have to move away from her. So that's essentially what I'm showing him, is that I want to go to the spot that is through him and on the other side, and he needs to move out of my way. As you can see, Right here, he struck out at me several times, so I did get after him and I did bonk him with the flag to tell him no. And if I wanted to go through that space, he needed to let me do it. So he throws a fit over and over again, and we finally do get to have a good walkthrough, and he starts to relax more. And I do like that he's not trying to get away from me in a mean manner on this now. He's trying to be quick about it because I'm walking through and I am waving the flag. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to move. But at least he's not trying to strike out at me now. So I'm very happy about that. He didn't approve of this exercise, which I understand. But I need him to pay attention to me more. He threw a fit right there and started to run around me. And he did not listen to when I asked him to change directions. I have to say, with the video sped up, it looks very chaotic. It wasn't that chaotic. He just didn't want to switch directions. But to me, it looks very comical that he is going around so fast and not wanting to switch. So I was doing a lot of reverse directions here. He wanted to reverse from right to left, but going from left to right was extremely sticky for him. I rewarded him and gave him breaks when he did a right to left reverse, but I didn't reward him on the right to left when he did his left to right reverse, I did not reward him on that. I rewarded him for the right to left reverse because he was being good and quiet with that one. But he was really, really sticky on trying to put me onto his offside. So I was having to use the fence so he wouldn't try to turn away from me. Eventually, we really did get it. It just had to take a few more repetitions of this. And that is the biggest thing. Like, just because he does it once doesn't mean that it's fixed. Like, I have to do repetitions. And he was really, really sticky. Like, he did not care if that flag came to his shoulder. So I really had to wave it around in front of him for it to really be noticeable to him. And then he started to listen some more at it. This is definitely stuff that I'm going to do on the next day because this isn't just a one-time fix-all. But I really hope that it got into his head that I'm not out here to just be his friend. Like, I'm out here to be his leader and to keep us both safe. And he needs to understand that I will keep him safe. Any human, any handler will keep him safe. So I'd praise him and rub him with my hands, praise him with my voice, rub him with the flag so he knew that it wasn't trying to hurt him, that it was only an extension of my arm, so I wasn't right there in his space. Once he started to listen more about the reversing, I did a little bit of lunging. His owner has said that in the smaller arena that they have, he actually would not lope in that arena. And here I had him on my 15-foot lead, and as you can see, he actually picked up the lope. I didn't let him go all the way out on the round pin, but he did in a smaller area, so I was very, very pleased with that. I'll still continue to work on it more, but that makes me very happy that he tried for me. So I did it one direction, and I was going to do it the other direction. And he did it! I was so, so happy with that. And him responding to me nicely, even though he was trying to focus on where our paint was. So as you can see, he did a left to right very nicely, reversed very nicely. And I was so pleased with that. I wanted to try it one more time, and he just did it really, really well. And then here, I really wanted to give him a little reward and actually take him off of the line. And I had to cool him out a little bit still before he could drink his water. But I wanted to give him like a nice reward. So I took him off the line, and then I went ahead and just cooled him off at a walk for a little bit. Again, he was focused on where our paint was, so I had to get his attention. But I just walked with him so he understood like I wasn't asking him to do anything, anything fast, any trot or loping. I asked him just to basically push out, and there he did want to stop and get some water, but he was still a little warm, so I didn't want to give him that. I do eventually release him at the water when I feel like it was a little bit nicer. Here he keeps trying to cut in, so I keep asking him to go out. He was trying to turn back to actually find Jules, so I'm very happy with his session today. There were some tantrum moments, but I have to find those. I can't just see the sweet guy that he is. I have to find out where his threshold is and then work with him through those moments, and for him and his owner. So yeah, his biggest thing right now is just respecting his handler and respecting that space that they want. We can be all loving and cuddly with him. That's all fine, and give him treats. Like, I love being cuddly with my horses, but he needs to understand that if we want him to back away or wait patiently for something like food, then he needs to do that in a very kind manner. As an extra little reward from me, I gave him a little water splashing because his owner said he loves water. So thank you everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'm going to try my hardest to get more videos of this guy posted. Thanks.